Chainsaw Man is finally here, and we're gonna break it down. From symbolism to dialogue, we're covering all of it. So let's get started. The show opens with a creepy alleyway in Denji's dream, before he wakes up and we get a quick look at his living situation and some beautifully sad shots of the area around it. Then we follow Denji and Puchita as they kill a tomato devil before we cut to the intro. After it, we quickly learn that Denji is trying to pay back his father's debt to the Yakuza, while also trying to make ends meet. Right off the bat, we are given a strong indication of the intense level of squalor Denji is living in. Selling organs, living in a shack, having less than $20 for a month's worth of food. He's in a bad place. And considering his debt had interest, it's likely he might have never gotten out. The concept of normal is something that is touched upon in this scene, as what Denji considers normal is just a given for most people, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. We then get a short look at Denji's past and how he came to meet Puchita. When Puchita was on the verge of death, Denji offered it some of his blood, and they formed a deal to save each other. We then see Denji's devil hunter origins, and then the flashback ends. After the flashback, we learn of Denji's dreams of flirting with a girl and playing video games with her. This is once again a pretty normal activity for most people, and I think this dream serves three main purposes. First of all, it makes Denji more relatable to the target audience, that being guys who probably get no play. Second, it further emphasizes how desperate and destitute Denji is. And third, I think it's meant to point out that there are some simple pleasures in life that the average person takes for granted. Bread with jam, playing video games, intimacy for some people. These are all things the average person could probably get without too much trouble if they wanted to. They're all things commonplace in society that a lot of people enjoy, many of whom rarely think about what their lives would be like without them. But maybe I'm just reading too far into it. Anyway, right after that, we learn Denji also has a heart condition, as if he wasn't already screwed enough. He then gets whisked away by the Yakuza to hunt another devil, but when he gets there, he gets called a dog and literally gets stabbed in the back. But before we get into that scene, don't forget to subscribe. 90% of my viewers are not subscribed, and if even just 10% hit that red button, we could get to 5,000 subscribers. It would be really cool to hit that number by the end of the year. Anyway, Denji starts bleeding. For some reason, when reading the manga, I never noticed that the guy that stabbed him was actually a zombie. I always thought it was just like another Yakuza member, but it turns out he is a zombie, and we are introduced to the zombie devil, who hates devil hunters because they hunt devils. As such, Denji is chased around the warehouse briefly before he is stabbed to death. We once again touch upon his simple dream before he is deposited in a dumpster. This scene is a little bit interesting. First of all, there's very little censorship, like very little, which is pretty rare to see in anime and especially rare to see in shonen. Second, we once again hear about Denji's dream, and it seems like he has some sort of self-esteem issue in terms of what he deserves. Most likely because of his debt and the hand he has been dealt, Denji thinks he deserves very little. After this, we get a bit more backstory on Puchita and Denji, and we learn another condition of the deal. If Denji dies, Puchita gets his body, but Puchita has other ideas and actually wants the opposite to happen. Then Puchita speaks, a talking dog. Who would have thought? Somehow that's the most unbelievable part of this episode. It's also interesting because it kind of feels like Puchita is much more intelligent than it let on originally. I don't know why I'm getting that vibe from this little dog, but the fact it has compassion and is capable of expressing that compassion feels special. Something else I noticed, which might not matter, is that the dumpster is empty and kind of clean when Puchita talks. I don't know exactly why this is, but I think it's supposed to symbolize that the combination is happening in Denji's head and that Puchita might not actually be speaking out loud. Maybe it's supposed to be like the manifestation of their shared consciousness or something. I don't know, but I thought it was important to point out because they made it very obvious that the actual dumpster was filled with trash. Like, it's unquestionable. Then Denji notices a chainsaw puller on his chest and quickly realizes they fused before the zombie devil sends his goons to kill him. Again, Denji wants to fulfill his dreams and cuts through the goons. He seems way more durable than before, and his chainsaws are extremely effective against the zombie devil. The zombie starts literally flinging its goons at Denji, but it doesn't really do much thanks to the, well, chainsaws. It also clicks with Denji that he's now debt-free, as the Yakuza are pretty much dead. He also seems a bit more unhinged now compared to before, but just a bit. Time passes and a car drives up to the site, and she walks out to see Denji covered in blood, as well as the carnage that unfolded. She confirms he did this and hugs Denji on his request. We then get this really cool melting animation as the chainsaws disappear. She confirms that he killed the zombie devil specifically and offers him an ultimatum: live as hers or die as a devil. Turns out living for Makima is better than living as he was before. The choice seems obvious, and just like that, Denji has mommy issues. This scene also touches upon the Denji dog analogy that has been established throughout the episode. He either gets to live in Makima's care, getting food and a place to live while doing what she wants him to do, or he gets put down. It's interesting how many people people want to treat Denji as less than human when all he wants is to live a normal life. Right now, it seems like Makima is the closest he will get to normal, and he seems content with that. Anyway, that's pretty much everything that happened in this episode. Let me know what you thought in the comments down below. I'd love to talk to some other people about this and hear some feedback on the episode. That's all I've got for now, and I'll see you this weekend for another video.